Well, one of the biggest things for me that I really care about the most is a thing called disconnection that Scientology has. When you leave or you say something negative about Scientology, you are declared a suppressive person. That's what I've been declared now. Within 2 months of leaving the Church of Scientology, they declared me a suppressive person. They didn't tell me, which they're supposed to, but they did declare me that. And they start spreading lies about you. They told people I'm a criminal, which I'm not. But they're constantly spreading lies about me. So people literally, my best friends for 30 years, now I'll call up and say, this is Tory, and they just hang up the phone. Just like that. I saw somebody yesterday at a restaurant, and he just looked at me like I was a bug. You know, forget it. They're not going to talk to me. That's abusive. That's not right. I know some children who've killed themselves because they wanted to leave the Church of Scientology, and I think the pressure was just too much, and they've just killed themselves. I stood over one of my best friend's sons who died, who shot himself. Those are tragedies. They're not just accidents. Those are tragedies, and they should not happen ever. Every parent has a right to be in communication with their children. Every parent. The only person who can change that is God. And it's not okay for the Church of Scientology to be telling parents they can't talk to their children or telling children they can't talk to their parents. That's not okay. And I'm here to tell you it's not okay. And I'm not going to stop talking until something changes on it. And I mean it, Osa. I told you that before, and I'm going to tell you it again and again and again. And the last thing I'm going to say is you create your own enemies. And I used to tell the execs in Scientology that when I was in Scientology. I'd say, it's not right to go to people's homes with pickets, with all these things saying that they're bad people and they did this and they're child molesters and everything else. That's not right. It's just not right. It's out manners. It's not okay. And sure enough, you know, they're creating more enemies doing those kinds of things. People don't like that. It's not nice. It's really not what Scientology is about. But they're doing it now, and they're doing it a lot, and they're creating more and more enemies. For so many years, you would hear of something happening. I knew some of those people who went to jail, and I really believed it was because they were stealing Xerox paper. I did. You know, they just have such answers to any of the negative things that you just go, well, you know, that's what they're saying, but that's not true. And you're like, oh, I see, they're just a bunch of religious bigots who are making this stuff up. No, they're not. It's really some tragic things that have happened to people, things that they've done that have been really sneaky and not okay, that I'm finding out about. A lot of people, when I was on the internet, I was kind of pretending I was part of Scientology, even though I was in my dining room. And people hated me. They were like, you know, they just hated me. They sent these horrible messages to me. And I remember saying, God, they were so mad. I don't understand why these people are so mad. But I didn't know what Scientology had done to some of these people. I really didn't. And now that I've met some of these people and heard some of their stories, I understand it's not okay. You can't do that kind of thing, Scientology. You can't. And it's definitely not religious. Definitely don't even think about promoting yourselves as religious if you're going to keep doing this kind of thing, because it's not. It's mafia. That's what it is. I'm from Chicago. I know mafia. And you're talking to somebody, I know what I'm talking about. And that kind of stuff is not okay. You can't do it and say you're religion. Doesn't work.
Do you remember who told you they were stealing Xerox paper, and did that make sense to you?
Well, you know, see, I knew some of the people in the GO. I lived in the building that the GO was in when it was the Manor Hotel, which is now Celebrity Center. I lived on the same floor as the GO. So I don't remember who told me that, but it was sort of like, oh, those guys were going to jail. Well, they've come up with some kind of a story, and you know, so they have to go to jail. I don't know, they were in there stealing some kind of paper, and you know, you just automatically, it's scary when I'm out now. You think about it and you go, come on, how could I have done that? But you do. It's just like the Venetian blinds come down, and you know, whatever, that's somebody else's problem, not mine. I'm busy here helping people. That's all I care about, is helping people. And that's really what the majority of Scientologists do care about. Honestly, I believe that. The majority in the church do want to help people, and they want to help themselves. And they have no idea about these abuses. The majority of people, including a lot of the staff, don't. But the people that run it, that know about it, are very responsible for it, and they are going to pay one way or the other at some point in time. Because karma, what goes around comes around. You got to remember that. And as Bob Minton told me, because I was the same, I was like, well, Bob, I didn't know this stuff was happening. And he finally said, you know, that doesn't matter. You were there. You were paying the money. You were help supporting this stuff. And it's true. You do have to sit back and go, you know, it's right. I did. I did shut down my mind. I did stop thinking about those things. I did stop looking. And it's very, you know, I start crying thinking about that kid who died. Ah, children should not have to die over this. They shouldn't. It's not right. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but man, I think about standing over that child that's dead, and that gets in your mind. You don't forget that. He's gone. Those kids are gone forever. And that is not right. That is not something that should happen ever. But it certainly shouldn't happen with a group that's trying to say they are religious. And they can start saying, oh, this kid was that, and they did it because of that. But every single one of them, the common denominator is they wanted out of Scientology, okay? And boom, they're dead. So yeah, they probably had some other things going on. But that disconnection thing is not right. And I swear to God, David Miscavige, you are going to see this face and you are going to hear about this until you change that policy. You've changed other policies in the church, and I know you have. You've changed OT7 for the worst, and you can change that disconnection policy. And I expect you, and I'm standing, and as Ray Mediff would say, I'm counting on you to do it.